Making macarons can be challenging, but following the tips I'm about to share can make the process easier than you think. Watch this video if you're looking for a quick beginner's tutorial of how to make macarons, specifically coffee-flavored ones. Follow along and read the description for the full recipe. We're going to start by cracking the eggs one at a time. A tip to getting the egg yolk out is to crack the whole egg in a bowl and then use clean hands to grab the yolk out all at once. Be sure to wash your hands after removing all 3 yolks. Save those egg yolks to make recipes such as lemon curd, hollandaise sauce, or custards. Now it's important to let your egg whites sit at room temperature so they whip better. While your egg whites sit, let's combine the dry ingredients. This would be your almond flour, powdered sugar, and instant espresso, or instant coffee. I use a scale to get precise measurements. Another tip is to both blend and sift your dry ingredients multiple times to get them as fine as possible. I currently don't have a food processor, so I use my blender first to get the powder super fine. I am now sifting it twice to get it as fine as possible. This will ensure that the macaron shell is smooth. Put your dry ingredients to the side, and now let's start whipping the egg whites. Whip until they're frothy and no longer transparent. This only takes about a minute usually. Then it's crucial to add your granulated sugar little by little. I'm talking spoonfuls at a time. If you add sugar too quickly, this could weaken the egg whites because it doesn't let the egg white proteins fully unfold. This takes patience, but really is the most important step. You want to get your now formed meringue just right. This recipe is made without any cream of tartar. Next time, I want to try adding it as it does help whip up the egg whites better and prevents the egg whites from deflating. However, it's not necessary and it does save money not having to buy it. Once the sugar is all added, keep mixing until there are stiff peaks and your meringue isn't going anywhere even if you tip your bowl upside down. Some people will tip the bowl over their head, but I was too nervous, so I flipped it over the counter. No movement, so we are ready to move on to the next step now. Now take your dry ingredients and add just 1/3 of them to your meringue. Gently fold the mixture in until it's almost all the way incorporated. Then add the next third and repeat until all of the dry ingredients are incorporated in. Now you know the macaron mixture is ready when you can lift your spatula and draw an 8 without the mixture breaking. If it breaks, just keep on folding the batter. Now that the macaron batter is ready, it's time to transfer it into a piping bag. I added a large round piping tip to the bottom of the piping bag, but I definitely could have used a smaller tip. If you don't have a piping bag or tips, you can also use a plastic bag and just do your best to cut a straight line in one of the corners of the bag so that you can pipe round circles. Now to get your sheet pans ready, line them with parchment paper, and you can use a little bit of the batter in each corner to hold down the parchment paper so that it doesn't go anywhere as you're piping the circles. As you can start to see, my mixture got a smidge too warm and started to get runny. However, they still are holding shape and I'm hoping will still turn out. Once piped, drop your pan several times to get any air bubbles out. Since those initial circles began running too much and were larger than I wanted, I got a second sheet pan and made additional macaron shells to desired size. I also started getting creative and made some into heart shapes. I can't wait to see how these turn out. You can also use a skewer to get out any extra visible air bubbles. Your next crucial step is to let the piped shells dry prior to cooking them. Wait at least 30 minutes until a film develops over the top of them. Once dry, preheat your oven to 300 degrees and cook for 12 to 14 minutes. Once out of the oven, let them cool on the sheet pan before attempting to remove them. They should slide off easily when ready. I ended up cooking my macarons for 13 minutes, but honestly, could have done just 12 minutes. Now for my favorite step, get your desired buttercream ready and in a piping bag. I made a coffee buttercream by first creaming softened butter with a hand mixer. I then slowly added the powdered sugar, instant coffee mixture, splash of milk, and salt. I love adding salt to buttercream as it cuts the sweetness. Now pipe buttercream on the flat side of one macaron shell and then take a second shell to create your cookie sandwich. Keep piping until all of them are done. One last note to keep in mind is that macarons taste better after 24 hours assembling them because the filling adds moisture to the shells. Hope you enjoyed learning these tips and subscribe and like this video if you want to keep on baking with me.